Welcome back to another Cameo versus First Appearances. New look, you know me, I like to switch it up to appeal to a wider and younger audience. I'm just in the wrong demographic, I think. Oh, somehow I doubt that this will change. Um, when it comes to villain, it is really hard to suggest or recommend villains books, first appearances, or cameo to invest in because they are tricky. For the most part, many villains, whether it's TV shows or movies, they are killed off fairly quickly. Could that be the reason? And then there are villains that are A-listers that didn't really need the TV shows or the movies to be good investments. They are solid investments long ago, or steady. I wouldn't say strong investment. They are steady investments for many years, long before the movies and the TV. So, for example, the Kingpin. If you look at the value of the Kingpin first appearances, Spider-Man 50, it has been a solid book with decent return for many years. It did not need, in my opinion, you can disagree, it does not need Daredevil 3 seasons to be where it has been. Many would argue that that book should have been even worth more because of the TV shows. And guess what? I don't think the TV show did a heck of a lot of pumping and pushing it up, right? It's been a good book to own because Kingpin is no doubt one of the best street level villain for Marvel for decades. And then as far as the movie, okay, there is no dispute that Thanos is the A-lister, right? He's another one of those A-listers that, on top of being alive for a decade. So is that the reason? Well, not a decade, but you know how long he has been in the MCU. I lost track of time, to be honest. I can't tell how long it has been since the first Avengers movie. But that book it had a huge jump, okay, when he first introduced. And then for the most part, if you look across all grades, like I did not look at all the grades, I look at mid grades to the high grade, it has been holding steady and rising slowly, okay? It's not crashing, it's not curling over, it's not topping over, but it has been rising, and that's because he has been the big bad guy for many movies and he's still alive. Now, the big test of that book is what happened when he is gone from the MCU. I'm not saying that he's going to be killed off in Avengers Endgame, but regardless of what happened to him, what is going to happen to that book, I don't think a crash is coming. Okay, that is just my call. I don't think a crash is coming. I think that book has been a steady riser, okay, and then it might dip a little bit and then flatline from. That's my prediction. My prediction is that book's gonna flatline. Now, let's jump to the topic du jour. Taskmaster. Yes, I'm sure everybody that is in this hobby long enough recognize these two books. What is Taskmaster as far as on the scale of A, B, or C? He's definitely not A, right? I think most people would agree with me. He's not an A-lister. So when it comes down to A-lister, they are not typically A-listers, non-A-listers typically are not good investment for villain because we have seen many B-listers and C-listers came and went away. Even A-listers sometimes suffer. Need I say or remind you about Apocalypse? So, when it comes to this book, I'm not the right person to tell you whether it's going to be a good investment or not. Okay, I don't know. Okay, I own both. My theme for this series is instead of arguing what should be worth more than the other, own both, and you don't have to worry. So I'm not here to pump. Okay, I'm not here to pump up these two books whatsoever. I'm just here to tell you that the market has decided long ago that this is the one. Very few people talk about this one. Okay, very few. It suffered the same fate, well, similar fate like Hulk 180. Did I just say Hulk 180 and I promise not to mention that book ever again in this series, other than the very first episode of this series? Yes, I broke the rule. I mentioned it. But this book is even less less talked about than Hulk 180 in comparison to the first full appearances. Okay, great cover. Okay, great, I love it. George Perez hit it out of the park here. I can't imagine what it was like to be a collector in the late 70s buying these books off the rack, because you get John Byrne blowing up on the X-Men, and then George Perez was crushing it on these books. Oh my god, before he jumped ship over to DC and worked on the new Teen Titans. But the details on the cover here, fantastic. And this book, unlike Hulk 180, with just one panel, you get the full final page. Look at that. Look at that, okay? Fantastic. So what happened to the argument of only one panel? How about one page? How do we fit that into the discussion of how something should be worth and value more or more significant? Is one full page more important than one panel? What do you think? What's the reason? What's the A, the B, the C, the D, E, F? What is it? What's the reason why? Is there a good reason? Like I said in many videos in this series, there is no definitive answer to anything when it comes down to why a cameo is worth less than the first full appearances, or it's a whole lot of nonsense. That's what I have been saying for a long time, is, just own both. I have just said this many times. Own both, and you don't have to pump or hypes anything. But that's just me. Regardless, great books to own if you're a fan of Taskmaster. Great book to own if you're a fan of George Perez, because they are worth owning and reading and enjoying, regardless of the value or the significance of what the hobby say, which book is more important. Own them both. That's it for this episode. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.